Great. 40 minutes, I said. Yeah.
Can I call the meeting to order? Notice of this meeting was given to all board members and associates in a meeting notice dated June 3rd, 2025. Furthermore, on that date, a copy of such notice was sent to the Times, the Trentonian, and the Clerk of the Township of Hamilton. It was also posted on the bulletin board at the entrance to the boardroom in the Hamilton Square Administrative Building. Please rise for the flag salute.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Atwood, roll call. Ms. Soto? Here. Ms. Stanton?
Here.
Ms. Williams? Here. Ms. Byrne?
Ms. Byrne will not be here this evening.
Dr. Farrar? Here. Ms. Harvey?
Here.
Mr. Kanka?
Here.
Dr. McSheen?
Here.
Ms. Thornton?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. So at this time, I would like to ask for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes.
Whereas NJSA 10:4-13 requires adoption of the board to go into executive session, be it resolved that the board, pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act, New Jersey, Title 18A, and the Hamilton Township Board of Education Bylaw, number 0166, hereby enter executive session to discuss a matter involving student matters and matters falling under the attorney-client privilege and human resources. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the executive session shall be made public following formal action by the board and/or at the conclusion of any investigation, due process, proceeding, or litigation, so long as not prohibited by law, and so long as the need for maintaining confidentiality no longer exists.
We're going to go into
If I can call the meeting back to order. I appreciate everyone's patience. I know we were a little bit longer, so thank you very much. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Rocco for his superintendent's report.
Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, everybody. I have a few items here that I'm going to cover for the last board meeting in June, for the last board meeting of the 2024-2025 school year. So first of all, I want to congratulate our three-time back-to-back, and that's called a three-peat, Steinert High School softball Group 3 state champions. They are the first public school in New Jersey state history to win back-to-back state championships in the softball. And we are going to formally recognize them in July. They were not able to make it tonight, but I will say one thing, which I'm going to say in July again. Last year they were, I think we were here. Yes. We were actually in Wilson. It's going to get really weird then, because I actually invited them last June to this June's board meeting when they won it again. So this year I'm going to invite them back again for next June to have them back when they win their four-peat. So it was an exciting game. They won it in the bottom of the seventh. I had a feeling something good was going to happen, so I started filming every batter. And there was a hit, then there was a hit, then somebody made an out, and I got the walk-off as we won 3-2. Very exciting time. So moving on to something a little more serious. Last month I reported to our community that our preschool and high school pools projects were on hold at the request of the Board of Education. At that meeting, a board member also stated that there were questions that needed to be answered. And I want to clarify both statements for our community tonight in my superintendent's report. As has been described many times at these meetings and in my community updates, there are a number of formal and informal approvals that the Board of Education must go through to get these projects to a point in which the work can start. Until last month, the Board of Education had not requested a pause or a hold or a stop or the end of the projects. On the contrary, the board had done its due diligence, asked many questions, reviewed plans and information, and made informed decisions to move the projects forward each month. The board's request for a hold is a result of a communication received from the Mercer County Improvement Authority that indicated that neither project currently align with their programmatic priorities. As a result of that statement, the Board of Education sent questions for MCIA, and they hoped to get them answered. It is the board's hope that both MCIA and the board can sit down to review both projects and discuss the value in each of them for our students, our schools, and our community. We want to work with MCIA to improve our growing school district and provide programming that not only addresses our current K-12 student population, but also engages, supports, and educates our youngest children that are eligible for preschool. Many districts across the state have preschool programs in their communities. HTSD is lucky enough to have received state grant funding in the amount of $11 million to assist in building a facility. Those funds and the fact that bonding through MCIA would not increase the tax levy for the construction projects are a once-in-a-generation opportunity. The time to use these grant funds and to not impact the tax levy is quickly running out. We hope that MCIA will contact us to engage in a discussion. We are, as we stated to them, willing to meet. So that's the update on the preschool and the pools. I want to go into some other topics. June 10th was a building level professional development day. There were many awesome sessions for our faculty and staff. We also had our second collaboration with Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Hamilton, where we provided a day of wellness at Quaker Bridge Road gym facility for approximately 80 faculty and staff. We thank RWJ Barnabas of Hamilton for working with us, and we look forward to collaborating with them in the future. Well, it's the end of June, it's the end of the school year, and that means it's time for graduation. So I want to congratulate the class of 2025. We recently posted the places our graduates will go. This included colleges, career, military, and trades. We also listed the majors of our students and what they'll be studying when they go to college. Take a look at our social media feeds and the community update that'll be coming out tomorrow and our website. I think you're going to be very impressed with the postgraduate plans of all members of the class of 2025. And just a reminder, graduation is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. Times and locations are available online. As we wrap up the school year, I want to also talk to you about a couple of other things. Every year we do a Difference Maker campaign. This year's Difference Maker program identified 212 staff members who demonstrated impactful contributions to our students, our staff, and the community. We thank everyone who nominated a Difference Maker, and we thank those making a difference in our school district. And even though it doesn't feel like it outside, summer is here, and summer camp will be happening. So I have a summer camp update. We have 781 campers registered. Registration will close soon. This is the largest enrollment we have ever had in camp. Thank you. Appreciate that. Also, I've always reminded the community, and I do that in my community update and through my superintendent updates, that we have a focus on improvement. All year long, I've met with building principals. We've met in small groups and large groups and individually. In some of the smaller groups, I've met with our supervisor, Kevin Bobitich, and myself, and we focused on 3 goals: attendance, academics, and behavior/SEL. We review and analyze data, address the results of that data, and continue to push forward for improvement in all 3 areas. Improvement has been shown in those areas. We've improved our attendance at our buildings, we've lowered incidents of behavior, and we have documented academic growth. However, we do not stop with improvement. As mentioned in previous superintendent reports and community updates, we will continue to focus on attendance, academics, and behavior next year, as we roll out some important changes to our district. Number one, we will update the instructional minutes at the elementary school to be more focused on instruction and what students need. Number two, middle schools will again provide summer programming for students who have struggled academically. And number three, after 18 months of planning and training, our high schools will go to a block schedule in September. All three of these changes are focused on improving the three areas of attendance, academics, and behaviors. And finally, our new theme for next year will be announced tomorrow, so a little bit of a teaser, like a commercial. That will come out tomorrow in our community update. And finally, I want to wish everybody a relaxing and an enjoyable summer. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco. So I'm actually going to move the agenda around just a bit. So we do have our student representatives here this evening, and I'm going to ask each one of them if they have their final report for this year. So I will start with Gino DiNatale.
Thank you. So wrapping up things for Steiner, our decision day was May 31st. Our senior prom was June 2nd, and our after prom was June 3rd. Our pep rally was Friday the 13th. Our softball team won state champions for the third time, 6-13 as well. And finally, graduation will be at 7 o'clock p.m. at Cure Insurance Arena. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will move on to Cameron Mooney.
Hello. Our decision day was June 4th. Our junior sunset was a great success. Our Powder Puff football game against Steiner was this past Thursday. Congratulations, Steiner, for the win. Our seniors are having their senior sunset tomorrow to celebrate their senior year one more time. Our new student government officers have just been announced, so next year you will get to meet Diamond Tran and Adam Sulis as your new BOE representatives. Our senior clap out was June 13th, and our graduation is Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the War Memorial. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lanai Odom.
Hello. This month has been very relaxed. It's been more so a senior month because we are graduating. We had our senior night. We had our decision day in the same week. Everything's in the same week. We had our senior trip. That was pretty much it, to be honest. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'm going to ask Dr. Rocco to hand out our certificates.
Yes, so first I want to thank our three reps. I hope the community understands how much we value their presentations. Each month they come to our meetings, take time out of their schedule to tell us what's happening in their buildings, and they've done a wonderful job. We've really appreciated it, and as a small token of our appreciation, we have a certificate for each of you. So Gino, Cameron, and Lanai, if you would join me up here. So lastly, well, one, you were practicing the certificate above and the hand below for when you get your diploma on Wednesday. And number two, officially we can say that you don't have to sit at the board table for the rest of the meeting if you have other things to do. So thank you for your time and thank you for your service.
I wanted to echo Dr. Rocco's sentiments. You guys have been absolutely amazing, and it's been an honor to have you here working with us this year. You are definitely shining stars, and let me tell you something, I look forward to seeing what the future brings for everyone. We wish you guys all the best, and I'm always going to say, I hope that you enjoyed your time here, and if that inspires you to a few years from now, maybe wanting to come up and perhaps run or something like that and be part of the board, we would love to see that too. So thank you again, guys, and we wish you all the best. So I'm going to move on to the Board of
Hi, Ms.
Education
Thornton,
members.
can you
Yes.
speak closer to the mic? It's just really hard to hear out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
just with that, whatever's going up there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
course.
you. I'm going to move on to the Board of Education members, and I will start with Mr. Kenka. Do you have any announcements or comments? No. Mrs. Williams?
I have nothing.
Okay. Ms. Harvey? No, thank you. Ms. Stanton?
Yes, I do. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to, first of all, speak about a fantastic and really fun event that Dr. Farrar and I were able to go to, as well as Dr. Copeland, over at Layler Elementary School. They had their 5th grade science fair, which was fantastic. A ton of really just great and impressive ideas from the students. I left with a very cool paper airplane that I was able to do some experiments with at home. One of the experiments that was really truly impressive was a group of students that grew some flowers using milk to water their plant instead of water. So that was very interesting, and to hear about maybe some of the pros of proteins and calciums for our plants. So that was very interesting, and I wanted to thank Mrs. Marinello and Mr. Mizuko for including us in that. I also wanted to thank Sayan Elementary School for their Aware Because We Care presentation that they did. My son actually got to be a part of the presentation, and it was fantastic. It is to acknowledge and celebrate our students and individuals with extra needs and disabilities. So that was a nice way to end the year. Also, I wanted to congratulate the district thus far with our summer camp enrollment. I know that it's going to be another great year of learning and having fun for our students. Remind everyone again, as I always say, drive carefully around our schools at drop-off and pickup. Please drive carefully all summer, because now the children will be out and around all day long. And again, read with your students. Read to them, read with them. We're going to have updated reading lists on the district website. There's also reading lists at our libraries and Barnes & Noble locally. Both of the above, as well as many local businesses, have different reading prizes and awards that go along with keeping reading logs for the summer. So I encourage all of our students and the parents to read all summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stanton. Dr. Ferrara?
Yes, I'm going to give my announcements first, hoping that Ms. Soto will be back. Otherwise, I'll put my Ms. Soto hat on. I want to dovetail on what Ms. Stanton said. We did have a very good time at Layler, which then evolved into learning that the turtles were coming up from the marshlands and laying eggs on the school grounds. And I was in the office, and the secretary was talking to Ms. Marnella saying, maybe we should keep the kids in. And she said, oh no, we've had the turtle talks. So the kids were outside. We watched a female turtle lay her eggs. She was, digging, putting the dirt back in the hole. It was very, very interesting. It was quite the science kind of day. 4 of our Nottingham students, including our board representatives, spoke to a group of administrators and school board members through New Jersey school boards about their use of IA, not IA, AI, AI1, right? They did a great job. Most of the 4 of them said that they usually use AI much like a tutor, to ask questions, to maybe follow up. Did I write this right? Did I use the right verb? But they also spoke about their concerns about deep fakes. They talked about their concern that IA could be used for propaganda. Do you have anything to add, Dr. Rocco? Because you were there with me, and you're more AI than I am.
About the students?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like the students, number one, the students represented us perfectly. They talked a lot about how they use it, how they see it, how it can be used, and how they don't like it being used. And they can tell when a lesson is developed through AI and then not personalized. And I thought that was very important. And then they expressed how they really like the personal connection to learning versus automating it or using AI to create it. But it was a great session. People from all over the state were there, and Hamilton represented well.
They did. And I want to close my announcements with, there are so many people who work in this district and for the district that we as board members know are present, but often they don't get publicly thanked, they don't get publicly recognized. So first, a big thank you to all the crossing guards. For me, they're some of the bravest people in our community because they come to work in the worst weather, they get kids cross safely, and they step into the middle of the street with nothing more than a big red stop sign. And one of our crossing guards is 92 years old. I would also like to thank all of our building custodians, our field maintenance people, our tradespeople, the people who deliver the district mail, the people who ferry supplies around the district. Thanks to the folks in the transportation department, the people who drive the buses, and the people who field the phone calls of anxious parents. And thanks to all the secretaries, the clericals who send emails, answers the phone, and just keep everybody on the same page. The district really could not run well without all of you. And now I will give you Ms. Soto's. Ms. Soto is the representative, the liaison to Greenwood School. And Greenwood School this year, for the second time, not last year, but the year before, and now this year, had no HIBs and no suspensions. And they also received a really nice number of grants. They had a young audience grant called Making Math Musical Residency. The fourth graders got to go to the grounds for sculpture. They had a Nurtured Hearts Dreams presentation. They did a SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. They went to the Kimmel Center for a jazz concert. Some of the kids got to go to the Philadelphia Zoo. The Rotary Club of Robbinsville has helped them out with coats and books. They worked with the New Jersey Agriculture Society and the New Jersey Agriculture Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. They had an Abbey Daily Bridges of books. They had Toys for Tots, Wawa, and Early Act. So it was just a really good year for Greenwood this year. And Mrs. Soto also wanted me to tell you that she attended the Steinert High School prom on June 6th. It was held at Forest Gate Country Club. All the students, she said, looked lovely and had a great time. She wrote, I had the privilege of working the roulette wheel at the after prom party, which took place at the school. As a parent of a senior, I felt lucky knowing that my child was having fun in a safe environment. So I would like to thank those parents who served on the after prom committee for all of the time spent over the year fundraising and planning to make this event possible. Graduation takes place on Wednesday at the Cure Insurance Arena at 7 p.m. And she says she's prepared to be a mess. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Dr. McSheen.
Yeah, I was just thinking, well, first, congratulations to everyone who's graduating and everything. That is it's always great to see, and it's great to see the excitement and hear where people are going, and I love hearing that. And second, I'm not sure how so I've got a first grader who is finishing up her year, and she looks just like me, but somehow she's sad that school is ending for the school year. And I was never like that. But I think that's a testament to the teachers and the staff and the environment that she gets to be in every day, that she's a little sad that in a couple of days she'll just have to stay near me all day as I work at a computer. But seriously though, I know it's a long year, and it takes a lot of work, and sometimes you don't get all the work done. And I just really appreciate how much heart that everyone brings to the table, everyone that Dr. Farrar brought up, everyone that Dr. Rocco and President Thornton brings up. It really means a lot, because just the experiences that the students have, the families we impact, it means something. I know we have lots of discussions up here, and sometimes there's back and forth, but I know we all want to build those experiences for our students and our families. So thank you for everyone.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. So I actually wanted to just report out that I had the privilege of attending Hamilton West Senior Awards Night. Unfortunately, I could not attend Steinert's award night or Nottingham, but I know that Ms. Soto was at Steinert's and Mrs. Williams was at Nottingham. And I wanted to congratulate all of the scholarship and award winners. And I also wanted to thank all of the organizations that are so generous to our students and provide scholarships that are so appreciated. So I thank you all for that. It's one of my favorite nights of the year, and it's great to be able to celebrate all the accomplishments of our students. So thank you. And at this time, I believe I'm going to move on to the technology presentation.
So we're going to get set up here, but we've asked that the technology department do a presentation for the end of the year. So just give us a moment.
Should be all right. All right, hello everyone. So for those who do not know, I'm Jim O'Boyle. I'm the Director of Technology for the district. With me I have Kara Floodman, our Assistant Director of Technology. And there was a request that we just give a little bit of an update on some of the projects and some of the things we've been doing in technology this past year and some of the projects that we have coming up over the next school year. So we're going to dive into numbers a little bit, but we'll try and make this quick and get through it and leave time for any questions if the Board of Education has any. So some of our projects and goals. We've been going through, on a high level, some network and security infrastructure updates that I'm going to dive into in some slides. Our big thing right now is our one-to-one Chromebook refresh. So over time, we've been updating that year after year, especially since COVID. We're going to talk about the numbers on that a little bit. And then at the end, I'm going to hand it over to Kara, and we're going to talk a lot about our staff and student engagement. On the infrastructure side, we have funding that we receive through, thanks, Dr. Argo. We have funding that we receive through an E-rate program that allows us to upgrade a lot of our infrastructure at a fraction of the cost of the equipment. So we're only paying 20% on the actual equipment, but we're going to be upgrading all of our access points, which are due for an upgrade, those little white boxes that you see in all the classrooms, district-wide. We're going to be updating our firewalls that are going end of support over the summer. So that's one at Park Avenue, and we have one at each one of our high schools. We're going to be also in those same locations updating our battery backups. For those who may work in any of those locations, if you're familiar with, if we have a power outage, usually what happens is the network goes down for a little bit and you got to wait 5-10 minutes for the network to kick back in. That's because the battery backups we're using are very old. So the new ones that we're putting in will give us a significantly longer amount of time that if we do lose power, the network and phones and things can stay up for a little bit of time so you can still make calls out. We're also going to be updating and replacing a lot of our aging and old interactive panels and projectors. So we're starting at the elementary level. Our goal this summer and into the fall will be that every elementary classroom will have a interactive panel. So some of the schools have already started seeing those Promethean panels that we have in. We're selecting the model that we're going to be picking for the summer right now, but the goal is we're probably going to be installing somewhere in the vicinity of 150 new panels in the district. Cybersecurity improvements. So without going in detail from a security standpoint on what we're doing, I can give you a big picture, some of the changes that we've made. We have what's called an XDR solution, an extended detection and response solution in our district. What that does for us is if there are, on top of an antivirus that we put on and the firewalls that we have in the district, if there's anything that is out of the norm on our district computers, we have a 24/7 support that is watching for these red flags to come up and will actively disconnect devices from the network if it sees that it's getting hit by something malicious. So that is something new that we implemented this past year that's been fantastic for us so far. I've received calls at all hours of the night saying, hey, we have this computer flagged, can you go take a look at it? We removed it from the network. We take it, we run it, a couple tests on it, and remove any of the malware that's on there, and it's good to go. One of the big things that the teachers will be seeing is that we're migrating our staff to Chromebook Plus units. So our staff are used to a lot of Windows machines right now. We demoed 50 as a pilot for a lot of our tech liaisons throughout the district, and we're going to be moving to somewhere in the vicinity of 300 or 400 of our staff are going to be getting these newer Chromebook Plus units over the next year. I can go into more details if the board has any questions on those ones. Starting with, so a lot of our cybersecurity does start with training. So on this next slide here, I have a breakdown of our phishing program that we've been using. And not to bore you with the data on there, but the big thing is we've sent out almost 12,000 phishing emails at this point to our staff over the past year. And in there, almost 80% of the staff at least open the email. Not a great start, but that's just that they open the email. Inside of that, 10.5% clicked the phishing email. And then luckily, less than 1% of our staff actually entered in credentials from that phishing. Now, we show this not to call out staff or call out anyone that may have done this in the past. We're highlighting this because this is an initiative we're pushing to try and protect our district more. So if you ever see one of these, I will field those emails all day that is, hey, is this real? Should I be opening this? Because I get tons of those emails. Absolutely, I'd rather you send that to me than find out afterwards that you clicked and you entered in your credentials and something you shouldn't have. But Kara has been a big proponent of that, making sure that each month we've had new campaigns that are going out. So board members, you may receive some of them too and sent them my way, but just be aware we're sending them out. And then anytime someone clicks on them, we can give you guys training materials on why you should not have clicked on that or not entered anything in and show you where the bad in that email was. Our one-to-one program. So many of you were here to see a lot of this through, but just a quick glimpse into our history of the one-to-one program. Prior to 2018, we were considered a 2-to-1 district, which meant we were cart model, the devices on the carts, and we had one device for every about 2 students. In 2019, we wrapped up the district strategic plan that had a 5-year rollout of one-to-one. Everyone knows what happened in 2020, which springboarded our one-to-one program significantly, and our 5-year plan became a 5-week plan to get one-to-one devices out to all students. Up through last year, there was a lot of additional funding between ESSER and CARES that helped us keep those devices new, refreshed, and working. But we're now finally hitting the first year where we're doing a lot of these out of the local funds. So we're going to make sure that every year moving forward, our 1st grade, 5th grade, and 9th grade will be getting new devices each year. And the way that that's going to work is in grades pre-K through 2, they will be under a cart model, which means the cart stays there. They don't bring the device back and forth. It's in the school all the time. Everyone in grades 3 through 12 carries the device back and forth. So if you're in 5th grade, you'll carry that device for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. If you're in 9th grade, you'll carry it for all 4 years of your high school. Kindergarten devices and pre-K devices will just replace as needed. You can get a little bit longer shelf life out of them than the 4 years that the older grades are going to be using. Some quick statistics, and then I'll hand it over to Kara. Just to give a shout out to the tech department with the small but strong team that we have. In 23-24, they closed out 3,346 staff tickets. So those are tickets for broken devices for staff members, issues with Promethean panels, issues with printers, issues signing in, could be a number of different issues. In this past year, they closed out 3,025 as of this past week when we pulled the numbers. The average open time, we're keeping it under 3 days for all the tickets that are open in the past 2 years. We're trying to get that down to 1 day, but it's a matter of large district, small team. And then our student device repairs. This year, we're averaging about 52 repairs of a device a week right now. And it's this next slide, I want to show you how that breakdown is. It falls in line very much with a lot of other school districts where middle schools tend to be the problem children, not in a bad way, it's just the nature of that age. So they have had, of our 2,561 breaks this year that were sent out specifically for student devices, they were almost 40% of the devices that we sent out. We have it broken down by high school. If you want to look at any of the numbers, high school for the last 2 years, middle school and elementary school. And then these others and loaners are ones that were not necessarily assigned to a building, but may have seen multiple students over time and needed to get fixed, or they were stationed out of the tech department. And I'm going to hand it over to Kara to talk a little bit about professional learning.
Thanks, Jim. So in our technology department, we actually have almost like the 3 branches of government. I was a former social studies teacher. So we have our break fix technicians who really focus on the devices and hardware that's in the classroom. And then we have our student information system team that manages PowerSchool and everything that happens over there. But we also have an instructional technology team that really focuses on ongoing professional development for all of the teachers in the district. I was actually really surprised by some of the numbers that we saw this year. We hosted, in conjunction with the Curriculum and Instruction Office, over 77 additional workshops for teachers. So after school, before school, times when teachers can come and learn from a team that is really dedicated to learning technology and what the trends are out there and how we can support teachers to have the best instructional experience for the students in the classroom. So that was really a cool number that I saw. Each month, our team sends out what we call the Tech Bite, and it has all kinds of updates in it for our teachers. And we also, even though our very small team, like Jim said, we only have 4 instructional facilitators, which are like coaches, district-based coaches, and myself. We also have a team of teachers called our tech liaisons, and those are teachers based in a building that can help a teacher on the fly. Because we're at the district level, sometimes if a teacher has an issue, we can't, get up and leave and go help them at that exact second as much as we want to try. But we have building-based people that can also help out. So every month, our team meets with the tech liaisons and helps them stay on top of the trends and see the best way to use technology as a tool for learning in the classroom, and not just the new, cool, sparkly stuff that everybody wants to do because they saw it somewhere on the internet, but really the best way to use it to support instruction. We also are always continuing our own professional development. All members of the team are Google champions, so we are either at the trainer or innovator level with Google, so we are always staying on top of the new trends that are out there and the best way to empower all of our teachers. Some cool events that we had this year going on. We're really proud to show you the Google Day. I think it's the next one. We were asked by Google, every year they do it's almost like a summit of dignitaries from Latin American countries. They either go to a school on the West Coast of the United States or the East Coast. And this year was their East Coast visit, so they asked us in Hamilton if we would be willing to host them. So back in September, which was very early in the year, it was only like, the 3rd or 4th day of school or something, we hosted something like 80 dignitaries from Latin American countries to come and see how we use technology in Hamilton. And that was really a highlight of the year. And being able to be selected by Google to represent to other countries around the world the amazing things that we're doing in Hamilton was really rewarding. March is one of our favorite months of the year. It's actually one of the longest school day months of the year. So the teachers of the board and the audience know the struggle of the month of March is real. So trying to keep the students engaged for such a long month when there's no vacation days or anything happening in that month can be very daunting. So we put together every year some activities that teachers can turnkey and use in their classrooms. And this year we put a spin on it and made it like a gamified event where teachers could earn points for their school and the schools would compete against each other. And the competition got really fierce. We had to almost shut it down one day because we were feverishly accepting submissions, and we thought maybe somebody had figured out a bot or something and was just submitting things because we got over 100 submissions in like an hour. So it was pretty wild. The teachers were very excited to participate. We had in the past couple of years that we have done this, we've averaged around 475 submissions per year, but this year we had over 1,100 submissions just in this one year. So that was really exciting, and the teachers really liked the competition between the schools, and those were some of our popular activities that the teachers all participated in. Oh, and the most popular day was Pie Day. I thought that was fun too, random. And all of the events of March lead up to our famous Tech Night in April. So Tech Night is a huge celebration of everything that teachers have worked hard for the whole year. All of the technology that they have implemented with their students, and the really cool drone activities and the STEAM classes and everything they've done K to 12, and the teachers get to come out and show off the cool things that they're doing in their classroom. And it's a wonderful community event. We have a lot of local companies that come out and show kids what careers they could even have in the future that have to do with technology. We have the ability for students in the younger grades to come and see what programs are available in the middle school and the high school. So it gives them something to get excited about really, really young. So when they get to the middle school, they're already excited to take that STEAM class with the drones and start learning about drones very early on. So we love Tech Night, and we hope to put a date out for 2026 very, very shortly as well. It's just some famous photos of Tech Night. And this is really the bulk of what our instructional technology facilitators do. They also do tickets, sort of, not really the same way that a technician does. We're not really looking at broken devices or broken hardware, but it's really job-embedded professional development, which is pretty unique for Hamilton. There's really not a lot of other school districts that do it this way, but because we're district-based coaches, we can go and help a teacher in the moment while they're in their class struggling with something or wanting to try something new or needing a brainstorming partner to bounce an idea off of, somebody with experience that can walk them through the process and be a peer coach for them so they can give their students the best possible instruction that they can. So you can see kind of how the tickets and the interactions that the facilitators have had has really grown over the years. A couple of years ago, we only had 3 facilitators, and we were lucky to be able to add an additional person to our team. And you can see the growth that our team has been able to have. So it's almost like this year, at any given time, a facilitator could potentially be at 5 schools in one day. So they're really impacting students and teaching and learning on a broad scale if they're able to visit 5 schools in a day and help all of these different people. So we've really, really increased the amount of help and job-embedded professional development that we've been able to give. And it's a little hard to see that chart at the bottom, but those are sort of the things that we help with on a regular basis. It's really getting into the classroom and helping the teacher in the moment, which makes a big difference. So it's not just the sitting and getting the professional development beforehand, but then being able to implement it in the classroom to actually make change. So now you're taking it a step further than just getting the workshop. Now you're actually doing it in the classroom. So you're really going to the next level. So thanks. I think that's it, unless Jim has anything to add.
Nope, sorry about that. I thought the lights usually take about 10 minutes to warm back up, so I figured I'd get ahead of it, but instead I washed out some of your presentation. So I just wanted to leave it at the end for the Board of Education if you had any questions for myself or Kara.
I'll admit that I got caught by the fish.
So I'm going to actually open that up to the board if there are any questions. Mr. Kanka?
Yeah, I just have a comment. Since a couple of years ago, we had a security breach, which everybody knows about. We reported it. The facilities committee has been proactive with Mr. O'Boyle and getting our cybersecurity and everything that we need to get updated and try to make it as difficult as possible. I went back to an old saying that I heard years ago, it's hard to hit a moving target. So I mentioned that to Jim, and I told him, whatever he needs, we'll get it for him, because we have to. We have a lot of data here, a lot of files of students, personnel, everybody, and he's just trying to make it as secure as possible for everybody. And I really appreciate everything you've done, and I just hope that us in the committee aren't being too much of a pain asking for updates on a regular basis nowadays, because we want to make sure that you get whatever you need to make sure that we make this as secure as possible for any outside entities trying to get in and see what's going on in Hamilton Township. And it's funny, this came up tonight. I received an email actually this afternoon from Norton that there was a security breach at AT&T for 90 million clients, that all their information is being sold on the dark web right now. So that's why this is so important, because we have little children involved here, we have staff members involved here, and those staff members also have families. So I really appreciate everything you're doing, Jim, and hopefully we can keep working together and make this as secure as possible. I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. Ms. Williams?
I want to echo what Mr. Kanka just said, but today's day, technology is everything, right? So thank you for keeping it as safe and secure as you do, and for the ongoing training for all of the staff, because obviously there's always something new, there's always something up and coming, and there's always, and I think that that's a big challenge nowadays with technology, right? Is doing the best we can with what we have and just staying on top of it and staying ahead of it. So really, it is a big deal that you're able to keep everything safe and secure the way you have. And when there is a breach, like there has been in the past, like we're always very quick to respond and to be on top and to know exactly, we're safe. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Harvey?
Thank you. I won't repeat, but I will thank you for the great job, and I think it shows that Google selected our district. So I thank you for your continued efforts and for sharing with us a little about what you all do.
Ms. Stanton?
No questions, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara?
I hope we can get you better digs soon.
Ms. Soto?
No questions, thank you.
Dr. McSheen?
I've got so many. All right, no, I'm kidding. Well, first off, thank you again. I'm a big fan, because it takes so much work just to keep the things going, and then it takes even more work to do more beyond that. So really appreciate that. The big one for me, well, I've got so many, but I'll pick two right now. Generative AI. So obviously it's a tool that's becoming ever more commonplace. I know in my work, everyone's like, how do we do this? How do we get ahead of the curve and everything? Obviously, students know how to use it in ways that might circumvent their learning in a way that's wise. How are we addressing it in our schools? If we are, and I'm sure we are in a certain way. And what can we do better to make it safer to use, or educate them how to use it more safely, especially because, once you put personal information in there and you're not aware if it's a closed system, it's out there for good.
Yeah, great questions. So I'll start with, we are a very AI-forward school district. We do not put blocks in place to stop people from using AI responsibly. We do offer a lot of professional development and training. Kara and I ran a PD for administrators last year during the admin PD. We're going to be doing kind of like a part 2 to that, an added one this summer, where we're focusing specifically on building out with AI and how they can help out with some of the things that they're doing on the admin side. I would say that as far as protecting the kids on there, we pay for a premium license of Google. So we have a couple different licenses involved in there. We have a Gemini license that we buy in a very small portion, and then for all of our students, we use the Plus version of Google. Inside of that, there are added security features for being a Google school district. One of the simple ones that I like to highlight a lot is even just a few years ago, if we would get hit with some level of a malicious mailer, so AI goes out and says, all right, I saw the board agenda and I see all these people that were approved, I can easily identify that the first initial last name is the email, and they use it to send out a whole bunch of blanketed bad emails. Before, someone like Kara or myself would be going through and like, all right, did Dr. McSheen get hit? Let's see. No, let's message him and say, did you open something and click? Now with the security features in there, I can take a look and see if you report that as phishing, in seconds, I can find every single one that was sent to every single staff member throughout the district and delete them and remove them from the inbox. So it's not something like you reported it and then 20 other people are reporting it over the next 15 minutes. You being the first person to report it, I may stop it across the board so no one else gets hit with it before they even open the email. So as far as the AI in district goes, we are focusing on professional development, making sure that the staff are prepared, because the kids are always going to be quicker with a lot of these things. It works every day in them trying to get around filters and things. They're going to try and use AI for good and maybe not always for good. So we try to focus on professional development, make sure that the staff have options and they know what to look for, and allow the kids to be kids and hopefully use it for the good reasons and the teachers to use it for the good reasons as well.
And thanks, that's wonderful to hear. And one last thing, I guess, is there anything on the horizon that you see that we should keep our eyes out for in terms of safety or information or programs or trends or anything that maybe you didn't have a chance to bring up here?
That's broad. I would say I'll double down on AI. Being used for the not appropriate ways would be the things that we need to keep on our horizon. That's why we're putting such focus on professional development behind it. It's the example that I just gave of people being phished because of public notices. This is not something that's going away. Every time we talk about Mr. Kanka talking about a moving target, every time we sit there and we say, okay, here's something new, let's try and block it, let's try and get on top of it, they're going to try and be more clever and find something more malicious and more scary to put out there. So I think the biggest thing that we didn't necessarily focus on in here that will be for safety and security reasons in the future is how is AI going to be used to impact school districts on a large scale. And I think it's time will tell, and all we can do is continue to just keep putting up those roadblocks for the bad side of AI and keep opening up pathways for it to be used with good intent.
Thank you, Dr. McSheen. I want to echo my colleagues' sentiments and thank you very much. The technology department here in Hamilton is second to none, and we appreciate all of your hard work, and we thank you so much for everything you're doing to keeping us safe, keeping us online, and moving us into the future. So thank you and your team.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Okay, so at this time, we've already gone into executive session. So we will move to board committee reports. And at this time, I will ask Dr. Ferrara, curriculum and instruction.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee met on Wednesday, June 4th. Ms. Stanton and I were present. As you all know, the district requested a policy audit from Strauss Esme. And so for the next several months, we're going to be bringing you many policy revisions to approve. And right now, tonight, there are 9 policies up for a first reading. Most of these policies were updated to comply with changes in state laws. The bold text on those policies that you have in your agenda are the changes, but I'm going to walk you through the policies briefly so that you have a general idea of what you're voting on tonight. So policy 0141, titled Board Member Number and Term, merely reflects that this board, unlike some boards in the state, has 9 members who serve 3-year terms. Policy 0143.2, titled High School Representatives to the Board of Education, was rewritten to reflect how our district's 3 high schools oversee this position. and how historically students have served in the role. So just some highlights to point out. Principals or their designees appoint the student representatives to our board. Where it reads senior status, that means a student must have enough credits to become a high school senior. So it wouldn't matter that you would be going into your 4th year of high school. If you didn't have enough credits to be a senior, you would not be allowed to serve on the board. The position will first be open to high school juniors entering their senior year the following fall. And should the principals not have a rising senior to appoint, they have the option of appointing a student with junior status. So again, it couldn't be a person who's just in 11th grade. They have to have enough credits to actually be a junior. I think we also talked about in that, didn't we, Dr. Rocco, where because it's a limited number of kids that can actually participate, that we as a board would prefer that each student serve a year unless there wasn't a student to serve, and then they could serve a second year at the principal's discretion. Policy 0145 is board member resignation and removal. This policy has minor tweaks to comply with updated laws and notes the way a board member can leave or be removed from the board. Policy 0146, titled Board Member Authority. This policy is one of the very well-known ones to us. It's the policy that expects us to make sure that people know that as individual board members, we never speak for the board as a whole. And the superintendent, as the chief school administrator, communicates information to the public about school matters. Policy 0152, titled Board Officers. This policy adjustments here are made just to clarify and align with the state laws. Policy 0163, titled Quorum. This policy ties into Policy 0141, which designates the number of members and the length of their terms. Because HTSD has 9 board members, this policy designates that 5 members create a quorum. The policy changes also address the handling of meetings when there is less than a majority of the board able to vote due to conflicts of interest. Policy 0171, titled Duties of Board President and Vice President. The change here just makes clear that the board president makes committee assignments. On the rest of the agenda tonight, items 3 and 4 are our annual renewals for service for Ms. Audino's program. Agenda item number 8 is asking the board approval to allow a TCNJ professor to conduct a teacher leadership study in one of the district's schools. There is no cost to the district. The study is being funded by the New Jersey Department of Education. The study would begin on July 1st and run through May 31st of 2026. Participants in the study will receive a stipend funded by the grant, and HTSD was one of 3 districts selected for this project. Now, we've partnered with TCNJ on research projects in the past. This academic study will document the process involved as a team of teacher leaders tackle an identified challenge in their building needing a solution. And this study will essentially lead to 2 basic outcomes. First, a team of teacher leaders in the selected school will have the opportunity to identify an issue needing a solution, and they will create a plan to solve or improve the dilemma. Then in September, these same teachers will implement the plan with their colleagues to see if it leads to change and how much change. The lead professor from TCNJ and her team will observe the process, collect data, and eventually aim to develop a best practice model for other districts and for the state to disseminate. It's kind of like, I thought about this, it's kind of like a Skinner box. You know, they're just going to put teachers and they're going to observe what the teachers do. It'd be kind of cool. And finally, Ms. Audino and Mr. Scotto have been working on the district's kindergarten teachers, or with the kindergarten teachers, on a program called Jump Start to Kindergarten. Kindergarten students arriving this fall will have an opportunity over the summer to meet their teachers and their fellow students. This program is going to be district-wide now, and item 7A on the personnel agenda provides funding for the teachers for this CNI project. And maybe Mr. Kanka will talk about this because you attended Jumpstart to Kindergarten with one of your grandchildren, did you not, last year? Oh, I forgot, Mr. Kanka has water in his ear. So yes, Mr. Kanka attended Jumpstart to Kindergarten, where you went to science school for a couple days, did you not?
Yes.
Yes. That's what I want you to talk about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanted me to talk about it?
Yes.
Oh.
Tell us what it was.
Yeah, it was a, it was an interesting program. They had all the, I was involved in the kindergarten part of it, and they had all the kids come in, and they basically showed them what they're going to have to do on day 1, day 2, day 3, where they assemble in the morning, where they are released in the afternoon. And it was a really nice day. I happened to go to science school because my grandson is a kindergartner there, and it's amazing how the kids absorbed all this information, and they're so organized in the morning. And when I just wish they would listen at home like they listen there, because when they say line up, they line right up and don't say a word, and they go right into school, and then they explain to you how during dismissal time, where the children are going to be let out. The staff does not let one child out of that door unless there's an adult there or somebody in charge to pick that child up. So it's a really good, and the parents are involved in everything, so they know because the kids know what to do, but the parents have to also know what to do. So it's a really good program.
Great, thanks. That's all.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. So do we have any questions in regards to the Curriculum and Instruction Committee report? Dr. McSheen?
No.
Ms. Soto?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara? No questions in
No
regards to your
question.
report. Ms. Stanton?
No, thank you.
Ms. Harvey? No, thank you. Ms. Williams?
No, thank you.
Mr. Kanka? Do you have any questions in
No.
regards to the committee report? And thank you for explaining the program. It's nice to hear it from someone that actually went through it, so thank you very much. So at this time, I will ask Ms. Soto for Personnel Committee report.
Sure. Evening. So the Personnel Committee met on June 4th at 4:15 p.m. I, along with Mrs. Williams, Dr. Rocco, and senior staff were in attendance.
Ms. Soto, I'm sorry, if you don't mind just a little bit closer, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is that better? Can you? So the Personnel Committee met on June 4th at 4:15 p.m. I, along with Mrs. Williams, Dr. Rocco, and his senior staff were in attendance. We reviewed the mandatory guidelines for federal workplace drug testing. So beginning on July 7th, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has approved the addition of fentanyl to drug testing panels in both urine and fluid samples. The employees covered include CDL drivers and others listed as having safety-sensitive functions. Robert Wood Johnson is the district contracted provider for the random employee drug screening, and policy 4219 will be updated accordingly in the near future. So we'll see that again. We also reviewed the 2025-26 substitute rates for instructional support and administrator substitutes. The rates for the current year were also shared to show any changes for specific positions, but for the most part, rates stayed pretty flat. That is number 17 on tonight's agenda. The MTSS supervisor job description has been revised. It was presented and is on the agenda tonight for approval, number 18. And As typical for our meetings, we reviewed the vacancies for 2025-26. We're always reviewing them, and Dr. Copeland and his team will continue recruitment efforts throughout the summer with the goal of filling each vacant position prior to the start of the new school year. And very exciting this evening, we received an update on current administrator openings, and we have finalists for positions, Yardville Heights, the principal on the agenda tonight, Wilson, right here, vice principal, finalists for the MTSS supervisor position, and finalists for the DSP supervisor position. Our meeting's short and sweet.
Thank you, Ms. Soto. I'll start with you, Mr. Kanka. Any questions in regards to Personnel Committee report?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No, thank you.
Ms. Harvey?
No, thank you.
Stanton? No, thank you. Dr. Ferrara? Dr. McSheen?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to move on to Finance and Operation Committee report. Mr. Kanka?
Thank you. The Finance and Operation Committee met on June the 4th, 8:30. Dr. Rocco gave us an update on his finalizing his June board and community updates. And he was working on filling some positions and hiring teacher vacancies, which are actually on tonight's agenda. Then we had Mr. O'Boyle come in and give us an update on the pilot program for doors that had access to the outside of the buildings that were not being monitored or secured in any way electronically. And he gave us a report on that from the 3 pilot schools. And there was a couple of minor timing glitches on some of the openings of the doors, but he assured me that they were going to work that out. And then we were going to move into the finalizing when we were going to start securing the whole district. So wanted to see how the pilot program worked out before we moved into the whole district. And I appreciate his efforts there, and we're looking forward to getting every single door that you have access from the outside or from the inside of the building to the outside that was not being monitored. The doors were locked, but they could still be open from the inside, so that they're going to be monitored in some way right now. Every single door in the district. So we're looking forward to getting that project on the move. Then we moved into the capital project update. The Layla School project, as we know, as I reported in the past, we've had some equipment issues with PSE&G on a transformer, but the equipment is, we do have the equipment on hand for that project. We're just waiting for the transformer to be updated at the school so the equipment can actually be installed. The question that came up was warranty issues since the equipment was purchased. We had to have our construction consultant look into how do we get our the warranties the warranty time extended since we're ready to go, but PSE&G is not ready to go. And usually most manufacturers consider warranty to start when you receive the equipment, and it's either 18 months from when you receive it or 12 months after it's installed. But since the project is on delay, we're looking to get those warranties extended for when we actually put the equipment in. The North Auditorium is underway. There's an additional tile abatement that's needed that's under the existing floor. That's going to be underway, and it's the final scheduling of that project has to be adjusted. So when we know the abatement project is completed, it's going to delay the project just a little bit. There's also going to be a chart that I'm going to ask the district to post that's going to summarize every single capital project that we got going on this summer, so the public can view the chart. It'll give an approximate time frame on how long the project's going to take, when it's going to start, and when it's going to be completed. So it's an easy chart to read. I saw it myself today. So if you have any questions, just make sure you bring them to the committee, and we'll try to explain that to you. But it's a very simple chart to follow. Like I said, those numbers on those charts aren't exact numbers. They are just estimates on when the project's going to how long it's going to take. Then we spoke about the bids for the Arbor Heights boilers. Those bids did come in. They were open, and on tonight's agenda, the awarding of the boiler replacement at Arbor Heights is up for approval. That bid and award, it came well under the budgeted amount from the finance office, so we're ready to get that thing moving as soon as possible. Then we, as part of the strategic planning, we're still looking to do the pool conversions. The next steps are the district to move forward, phase one to convert by submitting the project to the NJDOA for final drawing approval. And phase one will be the infill of the pools and removal of all the old equipment. As we all know, that was all part of the big project through the MCIA. But since that project is no longer valid at this time, we still have to move on with the pool project as part of the strategic plan. That strategic plan is not going to stop because of one item was put on hold. Mr. Miranda was there, gave us a facilities update on the tree issue at West and East. As I reported, the PSE&G is going to be doing some trimming. There was a discussion with the principal with the removal of those trees, because when PSE&G gets in there and starts hacking those things up, they're going to look awful. So we're going to have those trees removed, and every tree that's removed, we will actually be replacing it with another tree with the help of the principal of West. In East, there's trees in the courtyard that are impinging on the roof, and since we just had the roofs upgraded on East, we're going to remove those trees in the courtyard, and there will be trees planted elsewhere on the property to make up for the loss of those trees that are being removed. And those replacements will be in conjunction with where the principals would like those to be located on the property. The summer project that's going on, as I reported before, the flooring proposals for West, 3 rooms, East, 1 room, Reynolds, 1 room, and the Klockner Library. Bathroom petitions for Mercerville, Wilson, University Heights, Cooser, and Greenwood. Paving projects were awarded for West, Crockett, Mercerville. Electrical upgrades in the high school to support the additional lunch lines for the block scheduling that's coming up. Courtyard PA system was ordered and will be worked on by in-house over the summer, in-house personnel. Ceiling at Steiner, continuation. And the work begins as soon as school ends on Wednesday. We have one emergency project, Grice Middle School. We have a roof leak, a pretty good-sized roof leak in the Grice Auditorium. After inspection, it found that there was several places of infiltration. They found a lot of wet samples under the roof. So the roof is it's going to have to be a complete tear-off and replacement, since there's multiple areas that are being infiltrated. Subscription busing, there's actually no change from last year. Applications should be submitted right away as seats are filled in the order that the applications are received. Payment will not be required until a seat is assigned. We talked about transportation. We have, as we all know, we have an issue with bus parking in the district, and we're looking for other alternatives with parking our buses. We do lease some buses from Shepherd, and we're going to look for options to move those buses into those particular areas. There was also some conversation on some type of a tracking device for parents so they can find out where their children are on their buses. It's all preliminary discussions that's in the works right now, and more details will be available as soon as we get those details. We talked about the food service, the expansion of the free lunch eligibility. Right now, the free lunch program will continue at Hepburn Greenwood. There's talk of expanding that into several other schools starting in the fall, but it's nothing is approved at this point or is ready for to be looked at as far as who's going to get those programs. There's a couple names out there, schools, but I don't want to get anybody's hopes up right now. Let's get all the details out there, and then we'll get those names of those schools as soon as possible. We also talked about the district negative balance on the bus, or excuse me, on the lunches. I have some numbers here. We have right now our debt for food service due to people not paying has increased to $518,000 and change. 199,000 of those dollars are due to the fact that people were eligible for free and reduced, and they were unaware that they had to fill out the paperwork, or they just didn't fill out the paperwork, and they were available for the program. So what ends up happening there, if you're eligible for the program and you've been getting free lunches or breakfast over the year, we can't get that money back. Once that money's spent on the program, we can't get it back. We can only get it back. We can only get the money credited to us when you become eligible. That's why it's so important to fill this paperwork out in the beginning of the year, so you don't go through 3 or 4 months of the year when you don't think you're eligible and you are eligible, and your children have been getting free lunches or free breakfasts. So that's why we keep saying, fill the paperwork out. So right now we're at, with the 199,000 that we're not going to ever get back, we still have an outstanding debt of $319,000 that we've had some discussion on how we're going to try to get that some of that money back to the district. There's going to be, the June agenda will include a change in the vending services. The current service, the current provider did not submit a proposal for renewal, so that's on the agenda tonight. Also on the agenda tonight is our insurance renewals. There was some increases in our liability. There was some decreases in cyber, which I was happy to see. There was increases and decreases across the board, for workman's comp, property, cyber, student accident, and E&O. So that's on tonight's agenda. That is somewhere in the neighborhood of motion 20. Then there's the annual June motions for bill pay, purchasing, title, and tax entitlements, annual contracting reports, transfer of surplus to capital and maintenance reserve. That's the appointment of the treasurer appointment, signatories, bill pay authorization, budget transfers, bid and quote thresholds, designated depository, TD Bank as our depository. They're all items like 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 23. They're on the agenda tonight for approval. That's all standard stuff for the month of June. That concludes my report. Our next meeting is scheduled for July the 14th at 8:30 a.m. If anybody has any questions, I hope I can hear them.
Thank you, Mr. Kanka. Dr. McSheen, do you have any questions in regards to Finance and Operation Committee report?
Yes, I have a question on the free and reduced lunch topic. You said there was 199,000 approximately that in debt basically due to students whose families would qualify for free and reduced lunch, right? Is that true? Can you not hear me?
Yeah, quite hear what you said, but they are for students that subsequently qualified. So it was debt that they had accumulated and now are free and reduced. So for that 199, we can't go back and collect that, and we will put a motion on. Usually the board will cover those costs.
Okay. My question was going to be, how do you know they qualify? But it's because they qualified,
Yes.
and then that's what they paid back that we can't get back. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, if they fill out the paperwork in September, they would know by then if they qualify. If they don't fill the paperwork out until February, then they've gone from September to February, and we can't get that money back. That's where that debt is built up from. Multiple people that are qualified.
And in some cases, these students have accumulated debt for multiple years, but are now qualified or have completed the work and are qualified.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, Dr. McSheen?
That's it for now.
Ms. Soto?
No questions.
Dr. Ferrara?
The roofs, we've got 3 roofs under construction right now at the high schools. Are they going to be done by the end of the summer? Katie says yes.
Steinert is substantially done. Nottingham is almost done, and West is beginning.
And now Grice, are we going to have to go out to bid for the Grice roof?
Well, we should, but we're trying to think because of the timing and the needs, we may have to declare it an emergency, so, which means we won't bid. If we don't have time to bid and get somebody in to get it fixed, we're right now looking at our options of what the scope of the work is, but we may have to declare it an emergency and award directly because of the time frame and severity.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Stanton?
No questions, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Harvey? Ms. Williams?
So I do have one question. So and just about the lunch, the 199,000 that you were talking about. So if we were able to identify that those parents or those children do qualify, it's because they filled out those applications. That's how we're able to identify that that's how much of that, right?
That's how much they already spent before
Right,
they were found
right.
out they qualified.
Right, so those children, we found out after the fact that
Correct.
we could have saved that 199,000, right?
Well, that's why during the summer and, I always report that please fill out the paperwork.
Right,
when you come to
absolutely, I
school.
agree. So I'm just wondering, though, that 199,000 collectively of all those students within the district, do we do anything? Obviously, they know, the parents know that they have a balance due, and we try to collect on that, but there's nothing we can do past that.
No, we can't. Not on that. Not on the 199, but on the 319 that's left, we can. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Okay. So I actually want to thank you for mentioning our summer projects that we have, because I know we do take advantage of the summer and we get a lot of projects done. And having that posted on, I'm assuming, our website. Are we posting that on our website for the community to be able to see all of the projects that we're going to be doing over the summer? And will that be in a specific area of the website that anyone in the community interested in viewing that, where would they go on our website to see that?
It'll probably be in the business office section.
Okay.
Plus, we'll do updates through either the community update or like we did last year, I'll be doing the superintendent's 60-second updates throughout the year, throughout the summer. So we'll be doing some of the work that's being done on our buildings too as updates.
Okay, thank you.
And as we all know, if anybody's ridden by the high schools, you've seen where some of the work has actually already started, like the roofing work, which is virtually almost done anyway before school let out. So that's a plus on our end. And if you rode by Nottingham, you'll see where the area in the auditorium, I had mentioned the separate entrance that was put in that would not affect the entrance to the school for the children. That work is already ongoing. So we're trying to get a jump on this stuff to get it done, make sure we get done by September. But like I said before, the chart's going to give you an idea when everything starts and when everything's finished, but they're only estimates. If you see if it's in there for 38 days and it's still going on at 47, don't panic. As long as we get it done before school opens, that's the main thing.
Thank you, Mr. Kenka. So I'm going to move to negotiations, but being that you are technically conflicted out of our current negotiations, which is trades negotiations, I'm going to be giving the update that we are working with the trades and we are setting up dates to be able to meet in the future. So that's where we are with trades negotiations. And DCR, I know that we had our last committee report for the summer break. I just wanted to make sure that was the last one that we had, as well as the PTA, Ms. Harvey. Okay, so thank you. So at this time, I am going to go through the monthly suspension report. Do I have any questions or comments in regards to the monthly suspension report?
No.
Okay. The monthly HIB report?
No.
The monthly health report?
No.
And the monthly residency report? Dr. McSheen?
For the residency report, is there supposed to be something attached? I didn't see an attachment in
There's not an attachment.
Unless I'm missing it.
No, you're not. We have monthly residency. There were no.
Dr. Altabello, was there anything on the monthly residency report? There's no attachment. Was it? No report this month? Okay.
Okay, thank you. So there is no action or report in regards to this month. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this time, I'm going to move on to hearing of the public on agenda items. I do have 6 individuals that are signed up to speak, so that would take us past the 20-minute. So I'm asking the board to make a motion to extend the hearing of the public so that all individuals signed up have an opportunity to come up and speak for their 4-minute session.
I make a motion, otherwise it'd be so loud, that each speaker has only 4 minutes.
Thank you. Second. Is that what? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained, motion passes.
Thank you to my fellow colleagues for accommodating. And I am going to start, so if you can come up to the microphone, you do have 4 minutes and able to speak. Please come up and state your name for the record. Number 1, Jennifer Scarangelo. I'm sorry if I said,
My mother's maiden name's Scarangeli.
okay, I'm sorry.
Tampico.
Sorry.
That's okay. I do not want to take a lot of your time. I really don't. I am actually here because my daughter is a victim of bullying. I've been everywhere, been to school, been to meetings. I am trying to get this kid help. You guys really need to look into this bullying. Years ago, we can punch each other in the face. It hurts for a minute. 3 days later, you're sore and it goes away and you're friends again. Okay, but verbal abuse is terrible. My child's 12 years old and has been in the crisis center 4 times. Okay, we need to do something about this. You're worried about blocking people from getting in the school, but the kids that you need to get out of the school are locked inside. COVID ruined everybody. It did. These kids were forced to raise themselves. A lot of kids I know had to be home by themselves during COVID. And parents had to work. I get it, I do. But there has not been one consequence to anything that has happened to my child from the children. And I do want to reiterate that 2 boys on a daily basis tell my 12-year-old daughter, who is little and beautiful, that she is so ugly she should go kill herself. Something needs to be done. It needs to be done. I work a lot. My husband's disabled. Both my kids have medical issues. I have to work. And 8 months out of the year, I work 16-hour days. So if you think you have long days, so do I. But I am willing to quit my job to fight for my child because something is going to happen to her. I know it. I have it in my gut. She has missed so much school, throwing up every morning not to go. Her anxiety is so bad. Somebody needs to hear me. Somebody needs to help.
Yes, please.
We're going to have you leave your name and number and contact information with Dr. Altobello. Someone will be in contact with you tomorrow morning.
I appreciate it. I do. I really do.
Peg Kirkuff.
Good evening, all. It's a little bit difficult to hear back there, but hopefully we'll get all the gist of this when we get the recording of it. First of all, I do want to appreciate Mr. Kanka's plan to put a chart on the projects during the summer and a timeline on it. That's a step that it will be on the website, and therefore, hopefully, some people will pay attention to it. We can keep a tab on it. The thing I'm up here for is, again, I was up here last month and continue to be. There's no HIV report, harassment, and bullying, and, okay. Anyway, there's no HIV report, intimidation report, it's blank. There's no health report, it's blank. No suspension report, it's blank. Someone noted that there's no residency report, that was also blank. I go further down a little bit, still on agenda items, and although it's very hard for me to read this printout that I have, it has a summary of nursing services required to address specific healthcare needs of individual students. Now, on this chart, vertically, there are several things, just to name a few: diabetic testing, medication administration, vision checks, referral for a child to go to a eye doctor, alcohol and drug incidents, and So there is a way that you can, and none of these names are mentioned. None of these students' names are mentioned. But really, you do have the schools. You do have the number, and you have the schools, because you have the type of incident, and above it you have the school. Alexander, Langtree, you get the point. There is a way that you could have an HIB report which tells you what went on and how it was, how many and what schools they are. There is a mechanism to do this, because if nothing else, HIPAA would say, oh, you can't tell this. So if you can tell what the school is doing with the medical part of it, you certainly should be able to let the community know the other things that are going on in the school. Speaking to, I could not hear all of her, but apparently there is a verbal issue with her child. If I'm misrepresenting that, I apologize, but there's more here. There's not nothing in these, well, let me rephrase that. There's nothing in these reports. That does not mean that there's nothing going on. And I understand, again, as I say, you want to keep these things confidential for the children, but we have a right to know, and being confidential for the children may lead to further problems. This has to be addressed, because somebody is eventually going to get hurt, or we're going to have a big suing issue in this township. This needs to be, this is not a funny thing, and we should not look lightly upon it or ignore it and pretend it'll go away. Thank you.
Thank you. Noah Barnaz.
Never, ever. We can't even tell her that. I want to tell her right now. Ever, right?
In the interest of everyone's time, I'm going to be a little brief. My name is Noah Barnes. I live on the corner of Arena Drive and Copperfield. First, I want to thank and congratulate all the teachers and school faculty, and getting through this year. Congrats to them, present and past. And I'd like to also thank the school board for continuing this hold on this mega pre-K building outside of Robinson. It's one of those things where a lot of people are saying we're saving $12 million, where people in the neighborhood believe it's forcing us to spend $17 million. We're not really saving money. And again, that's why it's very important that we all keep coming to these meetings and be kept up with this as well. We got a lot of questions, and we got the good folks over here who we have to email and give them our phone numbers to find out more information about everything. Something that a lot of people were not happy about was the idea that everyone who was against it was anti-preschool and anti-school, and they're only worried about it because they're old and they don't have kids or anything. I'm a younger guy. I'm 23, so it's not just old people who don't want it because they don't like the kids or anything. It's just a community effort where we think it's not something where the place is correct. So I want to thank you all for keeping a hold on it, and I implore you to keep this hold on it. And with 2.5 minutes to spare, I yield my time.
Thank you. Debbie Small.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Small, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak this evening. I understand the status of the pre-K project, but I'd like to offer some thoughts. I'm incredibly proud to be part of the Robinson neighborhood, a community that came together, not in opposition, but with thoughtful questions, shared information, and a united voice for our shared future. I would like to clarify that most of us are not opposing a pre-K program. And yes, we understand the difference between daycare and preschool. And many of us are getting tired of being put into a category that we are opposing the preschool because we do not want change. This is not true. What we are opposing is the magnitude of the proposed plan on the Robinson site, which would double the current student body and staff. We are not in agreement with parking lots acting like bus loops. We do not like the amount of green space being used for pavement and the lack of an adequate traffic study being conducted. What has become undeniably clear throughout this process is that the deep care and empathy our neighborhood holds for this community was not fully acknowledged, and in many ways, the neighborhood was overlooked. For example, the April PTA meeting at Robinson was not broadly communicated to the neighboring community. This left many residents confused and concerned, with many trying to piece together incomplete or secondhand information, leading to a sense of mistrust and uncertainty. Communication should not rely solely on social media. A simple mailed meeting notice would have reached every household, just as our tax bills do. The neighborhood still has some unanswered questions. Have there been any adjustments in the timeline of the grant, and that you must commit all of the funds by August 31st, 2026, and liquidate them by September 30th, 2026? Why is Hamilton Township the only public school district in Mercer County that seems to be opting for a centralized pre-K? What other districts in the state have you researched or consulted that are currently implementing a centralized program? Should the centralized pre-K program get built, what are the terms with the grant money that this building actually needs to stay a pre-K before you can repurpose it for other uses? The strategic plan references repurposing an elementary school. So what is the long-term plan here for Robinson? Because the magnitude of space taken up by the pre-K leaves minimal space for Robinson to ever expand. If the centralized pre-K building is meant to consolidate existing pre-K programs to free up classroom space, how does this plan create additional opportunities for families rather than simply reshuffling the current students? Given the scale and impact of this project, I respectfully ask the board to consider holding a town hall-style meeting if this plan proceeds in any form. Our community deserves an open, honest space for real dialogue where questions can be asked, answers shared, and trust built through collaboration. This is not a criticism, but a hopeful call for a greater transparency and partnership. Thank you.
Thank you. John Muka?
Madam President, Dr. Rocco, members of the school board, good evening. Thank you for the time to address you tonight. I feel a little bit like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day. I keep asking the same questions over and over again. We don't get any answers. We don't get any satisfactory answers. We simply get the same narrative repeated over and over again. But, I'm willing to do it again. So let me just focus on the pre-K here and the pool project. I just suddenly realized that the bonds are both of those projects, and the bonds are held up. So this project is not being put on hold by the school board or by the superintendent. It's stopped because the MCIA is not going to give them money under these circumstances. It kind of reflects the first submission for the 3 sites, resulting in only Robinson being authorized by the state for the state funding. So it seems like in the April meeting, we're full speed ahead. Stacy Byrne, the minority member of this school board, she made a motion to delay further progress on this or further approvals on it and take a chance to think through what we're actually doing. She couldn't even get a second to that motion. And then the next month, it's on hold. So here's the question I've asked before. I always ask these questions in emails before I come here. I often repeat them in another email afterwards. It's just ignored. I can count on the fingers of three fingers of my hand the time I actually got a response, and it wasn't a reasonable response to the questions I was asking. But I'm willing to try it again. So what exactly are the other off-ramps or decision points that still remain for this project? We have any answers? Okay, we don't answer questions in this meeting. And for the most part, we don't answer questions in emails or in any other method either. It's just a strange world that we all live in here together for the purpose of this monthly meeting. So what are those off-ramps? What are the decision points? What should we be doing to assure that this project moves forward? I'll repeat Debbie's question from a moment ago. Does this endanger the funding from the state because we're going to be delayed in meeting the requirements of the letter that they sent us in December, specifying that in September of 2026, the project must be complete? What is the risk we're taking on that? What are the costs of the alternative of doing something along a decentralized process, maybe 3 schools instead of 1, adding on? Now, in the strategic plan, the facility strategic plan, it calls for adding classroom space, possibly at other locations, for the purposes of alleviating the crowding that we have. So that's a built-in. That was one of the things considered by the facility strategic planning folks. Where are they? Where are all these people that worked on this? Were there committees? Were there people that were championing these things, that are experts in these aspects, that can answer these questions? So what are we going to do? You know, this is the future of Hamilton education here. Let's do it the right way. Let's take this pause and think through what we're about to do and come up with some alternatives that we might need if MCIA does not actually approve all these bonds. And keep in mind, we have to pay the bonds back in 10 years, and we have to pay interest on the bonds in the meantime. So the tax may not go up right now, but how do you stop it from going up in the future? Thank you.
Thank you. Arvina Brown.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Marvina Brown. I'm PTA president at Layler Elementary School. And many of you, or some of you, may recognize me for advocating for children being bullied in the schools. And my heart goes out to that mother. I know what it's like to sit up at home with a crying child. It's not just an assassination of character, it's an assassination of their soul. It's heart-wrenching when your child goes through that and that's being chipped away and you try to build it back up as a parent. So I'm here in solidarity with her and in hopes that we can holistically treat this from the target and the aggressor point of view, to hold accountability, mandatory a process to promote empathy and understanding that this mean talk, this evil talk, this talk that tears down and is relentless can change a person. They can carry that year after year, especially being in the same grade, traveling through the same school system, seeing the same kids. It never leaves you. So I would appreciate if we could work together to try to holistically address these issues in a more detailed way, because our kids need more. Times are different. These are our COVID kids, said with it's a term of endearment for sure. These are our COVID kids, and we do see a lot lacking. So we would like a little slack picked up as a community. And speaking of community, we had a PTA meeting. I want to give a huge, super big thank you to Dr. Artabello, Dr. Ferreira, Ms. Stanton. They were all invited, and Dr. Artabello, you addressed questions, concerns of the community. Bullying was a big topic of the night. We are working on building the bridges to create a village and work together in tandem to create a solution. So you stayed, you answered questions. As many as that came at you, you had an answer or a concern, empathy, and you spent time addressing the questions and concerns of our parents. Dr. Ferreira, you stayed and you engaged way after the meeting was over. That was so appreciative. That was so appreciated. Our community, our mothers, a lot of the conversation started after the meeting. They just more was in a mode of taking in the presentation and what was being said, but it is a start. It is a start, and this is something that maybe the board can maybe be a little more proactive to reach out to the schools and continue something like this. We didn't get to carry on because it's the end of the school year, but it was a great way to set the tone, and it's something that we can actually build upon. Our community can actually start to grow, and the connections can be made. My last point is we are a multicultural, very diverse, multilingual community. There are a lot of challenges when it comes to parents supporting their kids academically. If we could have something at the beginning of the school year, a video link in the school app, this is how you get your information translated. In Dojo, a lot of the correspondence that comes through Dojo, all of our PTA information is at least translated in one language. But if we could just educate people on how to get their community correspondence through the school translated to something they can understand, it will help the parents navigate better and help them support their children better. But we are building a bigger, better community, and thank you for coming to our school and accepting the invitation. We appreciate it, and there is improvement already. We're looking forward to building next year. Thank you.
Thank you. So that does conclude our first hearing of the public, and I'm going to move on to our agenda items. So I am actually going to move the agenda around a little bit. And normally we would start with curriculum and instruction, but this evening I would like to start with our personnel items. Dr. Ferrara, I'm sorry, Ms. Soto, can you take us through personnel agenda items?
Yes. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 19.
Second.
Okay, so I'll start with Dr. McSheen. Do you have any questions or comments in regards to personnel items?
No, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Soto?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara?
I want to thank the superintendent for all the phone calls he took this week from me. It reminded me of being in your oral defense, didn't it? Because I certainly put enough questions to you, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ms. Stanton?
No, thank you.
Ms. Harvey? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Mr. Kanka?
Nothing.
Right. So I would actually like to recognize our retirements this evening. We do have 3 retirements. So we do have a learning disabilities teacher consultant throughout the district, 18 years service to Hamilton, Anne Marie Wagner. Teacher of intervention, Title I Klockner Elementary School, 12 and a half years service to Hamilton, Kathy Rush. And a supervisor of curriculum and instruction throughout the district, 18 years service to Hamilton, Francesca Maraglia. I want to wish you all the best in your retirements, and we thank you so much for your dedication to Hamilton. Ms. Atwood, can you take us through roll call? Yes. Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Byrne? Excuse me, Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
I need to abstain on number 4A. line 50 and 67, number 7, page 5, R section, line 41 and 42, page 7, T, line 43, and abstain on 18.
And yes on all others, I assume?
Yes, sorry.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
I'm going to abstain on number 18, yes on all the rest.
Motion's passed.
Dr. Rocco?
Yes, so I'm very excited here. We have several administrators that we're welcoming to the district and several we are promoting within our district. So right now we have our new principal of Yardville Heights Elementary School, Jason Chiricella, who was not able to make it tonight. He apologizes and even said he would text me as soon as where he's at right now in his district was done. It's a 90-minute drive. I told him there's no way you'd make it, but he was very excited about the opportunity tonight. And then we have Mark Coniglio, who is here as our new vice principal here at Wilson. Mark, would you like to come up for a moment to the microphone and just say hello? Just introduce yourself to everybody.
Good evening. I wasn't planning on making any speech. I'll keep it short. I am a Hamilton resident. I grew up here, Langstream Bulldog, Crockett Cougar, and Steiner Spartan. I am excited to be back here in the Hamilton Township District as an administrator, and I can't wait to get started. So again, I'm really excited. Thank you, and I look forward to collaborating with everybody in this room and being a part of Hamilton once again and forever.
So, welcome, Mark. I'm going to say this the first time as the boss. I understand that there is a special birthday at your house today.
It is my daughter's 13th birthday.
It's his daughter's 13th birthday, so I rarely say this as the boss. Goodbye. See you soon.
Thank you. Good evening.
Then I'm very excited for 3 promotions of 3 outstanding educators and leaders in our district. I'm going to start with Kimberly Hutchinson, who is here, who's going to be our new supervisor of student services. Kimberly, would you like to come up and introduce yourself?
Hello, I just wanted to thank Mrs. Aldino and Dr. Rocco and the school board for this opportunity to step into this new role. I'm really excited to work collaboratively with the administrative team and the whole school community to improve student outcomes for all of our programs.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The next person, it's a retitled position, so it was a leadership position that we had, and we've retitled it. However, this individual has been working with teachers and administrators during our conversion to the MTSS process, and although she didn't have the title, she was a leader in our district, making sure that we were consistent and our students were getting what they needed. I'd like to now introduce our supervisor of MTSS, Maria Schultz.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to thank the Board of Education, our directors, senior staff, and the community for giving me this opportunity to help our students continue to grow in all areas. I'm also a Hamilton resident, and I went all throughout the Hamilton schools as a student. I was Robinson, Grice, and West. It's my home, and I want to continue giving back to all the students who go here as well. So thank you, and I'm excited to continue the great work we're doing.
Thank you. Welcome. And finally, our new director of guidance, who the name may be very familiar to many of us, Dr. Disler currently is the principal of University Heights for the last 11 years, where she's done an outstanding job. She has served in many capacities, including guidance and supervisor. She's been at the elementary level and the middle school level and at Park Avenue, and we are very excited to have her now part of senior staff and have to come to all of these meetings now. Welcome, Dr. Disler.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco and Board of Education members. Dr. Rocco, you took some of my thunder away here that I prepared. I am so thankful for this opportunity. It's an honor to accept this position, and I do so with gratitude and commitment to this district. I have had the privilege of serving this district for 29 years. I started as a substitute. I was a classroom teacher, I was a school counselor, supervisor, elementary school principal, and although I am going to miss the daily interactions every day with our students and our staff, I am excited to work at this next level. And as everybody else said, this is even more meaningful for me because I am a product of Hamilton Township School District. It shaped me, it inspired me, it helped guide me to the path that I'm on today. Yardville School, Grice, and Steiner. And now to be able to give back in this way means more than you will ever know. I also have to thank my parents that are here. My dad is, I don't know what the score of the Yankees game is, but he will let you know because he is there, and they have instilled my work ethic and my service, and my friend Sue, who worked with me in curriculum. So thank you all for the opportunity.
Welcome. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Rocco. So I'm going to go back to curriculum and instruction agenda items. Dr. Ferrara, can you take us through curriculum and instruction?
What is up with these mics tonight? Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I move items 1 through 8.
Second.
Do we have any questions in regards to curriculum and instruction agenda items? Mr. Kanka?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Harvey? No. Ms. Stanton?
No, thank you.
Dr. Ferrara? None. Ms. Soto? No, thank you. Dr. McSheen?
Yeah, so we have on item number 6, it's a bunch of bylaws that we're being asked to approve revisions to. Is there like an overarching reason why, or is it?
The reason why we're doing first reads of all of these?
Yeah.
Because we asked, Dr. Rocco asked Strauss Esme to do an audit of all of our policies, many of which, if you go in and look at the dates, haven't been updated for quite a while. And so all of these policies that we are voting on tonight have been updated as per instructions from Strauss Esme, except for the one on student representatives, which we kind of rewrote to reflect what we do in this district. The Strauss Esme piece was like, you can have one rep and it goes around to as many schools in your district, and we're like, no, we don't want that. And then the board member authority, Strauss left it as an option for us to say, you know, we only speak for ourselves, and it was the committee's decision that no, that had to be in, that it wasn't an option. Otherwise, everything else is just aligns with changes in the law.
All right, very good. Sorry, it's so loud. Yeah, I saw the board member authority one, so bylaw 0146. The last update was August 2010, and before that was March 1987. So that makes sense. Thank you.
Any other questions, Dr. McSheen?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Atwood?
Tried to find
Sorry. Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Stanton?
Going to abstain from number 7. Sorry about that. I'm going to abstain from number 7 and yes to the rest.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
I'm going to abstain on number two, so 2-2,
2-2.
and yes to the rest.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Mr. Kanka, can you take us through finance and operation?
As per recommendation of the superintendent, I move motions for finance and operation 1 through 28.
Second.
So do I have any questions in regards to finance and operation agenda items? Dr. McSheen, I'll start with you.
Yes, couple of questions. Number 7, the building use applications. The farm to school program or initiative from the agriculture department, is that a public event or is it for, is it open to the public? What kind of event is that? You know?
Well, I don't know, but the public, it's a Department of Agriculture sponsored event. They're training some other school district, school food people on farm to table recipes and techniques. The link as to why they asked to come to Hamilton is that one of our Mashio's representatives, one of the managers there, is actually the president of the School Nutrition Association in New Jersey, and it came up at that meeting, and they asked whether Hamilton would be able to host an event where the Department of Agriculture will bring representatives from various schools across the state to provide this training.
And that kind of goes into my question of, and I don't have a strict preference yet, but it wasn't very clear if these were charging fees for this, or for any of these on here, but I think that's the one that applies the most in case.
We are not charging a fee, it's a state agency, so.
Okay. And thank you. And for number 15, which is the bid and quote threshold authorization, is the 44,000 and the 6,600, are those maintained from last year, or is that a change?
They are the same as last year. It's a statutory amount, so when it changes the statute, I think every 5 years they can change it, but it hasn't changed for a while. It's the same level.
Okay. So that's based on the state? You said statutory, or is it based on?
Based on the
board
statute.
policy?
I'm a QP, I'm a qualified purchasing agent, so we have a higher threshold under the law of 44,000. And then the State Department, I think of DCA, I think under the statute can raise that over time, but it hasn't in the last, I don't know, maybe Patrick can help me, but at least 6 or 7 years, they haven't raised the quote threshold, the bid threshold from 44,000. Below, like haven't raised it from the lower one for a while. So they can, under the statute, the state can raise it, they haven't for a while.
Great. Thank you.
Sorry.
Any other questions,
That's
Dr.
it.
McSheen?
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Soto?
I have no questions.
Dr. Farrar?
I just wanted to highlight, in case my colleagues didn't get to look at the Mashio's report, one of the things I really like about this food service is they talk to our students. They, gather information. And so in May, they talked to the students of West about what they liked, what they'd like to change, but they also had menu requests. And I found it really interesting. They asked for coffee and hot chocolate to be available during lunch with block scheduling coming. They want a muffin bento box. If you don't know what a bento box is, it comes out of Japan and it's a box, literally, that has little squares in it and you just fill it with different things. And and they want a pizza bento box. I have no idea what would go with it other than pizza.
Those are actually items that we have in the elementary schools.
Oh, cool.
So
maybe they've seen those from younger siblings.
Could be. So I think Mashios has been really creative with their menus, and I just really like that they reach out to students and say, hey, how can we improve? And one of the improvements is the burger patties could be bigger. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Farrar. Ms. Stanton?
No questions, thank you.
Ms. Harvey? No, thank you. Ms. Williams?
No, thank you.
Mr. Kanka?
Done.
Ms. Atwood?
Ms. Soto?
Yes.
Ms. Stanton?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Ms. Harvey?
I'm abstaining from number 18, page 4, lines 24 and 25. Number 25, yes to the rest.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to move on to hearing of the public on school-related matters. So I do have 5 individuals signed up, so we do not need to extend the time. So at this time, Janice Klonick.
Okay. You almost got an A+ on primary day, giving the elementary no workshops so that they could do all their end-of-year grades and stuff. However, you messed up big time by giving the kindergarten an all-day workshop. That grade has the most individual testing to do and record than any other grade. One teacher was so upset, she said she may miss the Robin luncheon because she wouldn't be sure she'd have all her work done by then. You have no idea what they have to do. Just in math alone, the teacher has to test individually each student to see if they can count from 1 to 150. Now, if they don't have a Robin, they have to fit this in between, I have 5 minutes here, I have 5 minutes there, whatever. If they have a Robin that can count to 150 like me, I can do it, all right? It took me 1 hour, but I did not finish the class. There still was 4 children left over that had to be continued the next day. Then they also have to, another day, have them count by tens to 200. And then another day, they had to give 3 numbers and they had to count on from those numbers. They also had to identify shapes and solids, such as cones, cylinders, and spheres. Sphere, I haven't used that word in years. But that all takes time. And it's not just the math. Then you have the individual reading. Plus you have your normal teaching. And also you have to undo the rooms with the bulletin boards, clear off the counters for the summer cleaning, put stuff where the custodians want it, and then you have cumulative folders you have to do. Thank God for the kindergarten workshop. Something happened, and the second half was canceled. They got the afternoon off and was able to get 2 hours to do something. So that was horrible for them. Next year, please give everybody, especially the kindergarten, no workshops on that election day. They have so much work to do. Get an A+. Everybody has time to do all this work. Like I said, come and experience their life for a day. Last meeting, I talked about my favorite subject, cursive writing. And after the meeting, I had a nice young gentleman come up to me and say how he is now working on improving his cursive writing, and he's using it all the time and finds out he retains things better using it. I also had a former policeman come up to me, and he was so thrilled that we have cursive writing in the system, and he was really thrilled with what I was proposing to improve it with. And he lives somewhere down the shore, and he says, I'm going to smile all the way home now. He says, because I know cursive writing's there and you're going to fight for more. I said, yes, I shall. And since it was raining a little bit, he was so happy, he actually drove me to my car. So that was how thrilled he was about the cursive writing. I also got a note from another former parent who heard I was promoting the cursive writing. And she says, knowledge of cursive writing, she still considers a life skill, which it is. And Mr. Kanka told me a story, unless he wants to tell it, I guess, well, he can't hear. But his wife had to write a check to cover furniture they were buying, And they handed it to the clerk, and the clerk asked if it was a foreign language. And he goes, no, it's English. And so she had to go have it verified. Really? I mean, that shows we need cursive writing. We need to be able to read it and write it. So third grade learns how to write it, and then fourth and fifth are learning how to read it definitely and write sentences. And that's my tale. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clonic. So the next person I have is Marty Flynn, but I do not see him in the audience. Okay, he's left. Peg Kirkup.
Hello again. This is just going to be brief. I am glad that the pre-K project is on hold. I think it's incumbent upon all of you to keep us informed about where it is. And at the last meeting, I remember that someone said that it was put on hold because of the questions of the people on the board. It would be interesting to hear some of those particular questions by the board members. And I wonder how much they coordinate with the questions of the residents and the community members around Robinson. I think this has been an interesting experience, to say the least, and has opened up a lot of people's eyes that we need to pay attention. We have to be at these meetings, and we have to keep our eyes on the ball. Thank you.
Thank you. John Muka.
Once again, I'm John Muka, lifelong Hamilton resident. Thank you again for the time to address you tonight. You know, there's a saying I lived by when I was in my corporate career, facing reality together. Now, I think all of you are good people. You're trying to do the best you can. It's very difficult. You know, I try to reflect on my kids coming up in the public schools and the Catholic school, and it was so much easier back then. We have so many influences, challenges. The state of New Jersey is not particularly helpful all the time, and all these encroachments into our local schools. But I still remember the first parents' night that I went to at Hamilton High West when my oldest son went there. And Carl Rechtenwald, who's the band director, along with Tom Rechtenwald, two great people, he started out his presentation saying, when I was growing up, my parents made it very simple. My father said, A is average, B is below average, C means can't go out, and D means don't come home. And I adopted that as my philosophy with my kids. And they still joke about it now, but they did their work in high school, and they've been very successful since. And I thank God for Hamilton West. They did a great job for my kids. But we have to face some reality here. We're going to spend $293 million in this new budget. It's a huge undertaking, and there's a lot of good people in the community that want to work with you, and I'm one of them. So don't keep us on the outside. We have expertise. These grandparents, these folks that are retired, they have time. They have expertise and time that they're willing to get involved with. A lot of people from the Robinson School area would be here tonight, except it's just very inconvenient to stay this long. But there's some bad news that we got to face in terms of performance. And these are the scores that we got from the state of New Jersey earlier in the year. Now, there's quite a range here. We have 23 schools. 16 of the 23 are in the bottom third of percentile rank. And that includes 2 out of 3 of the high schools and all 3 of our middle schools. They're in the bottom third. There's another 4 schools that are in the middle third, and there's actually 3 schools that are in the top 1/3. The 2 Yardville elementary schools and the Pace Charter School. So we have a range here, so we know we can do it. It's possible. And I'm hoping that the strategic plan, the facility strategic plan, could be built into this to make a change for the better in all these areas. But we can help you, so don't keep us on the outside. Let's actually schedule a town hall meeting and prepare in depth to do it the right way from the beginning and take advantage of all the people in Hamilton that do want to get involved and may not mind spending more money in taxes if it's going to do a job for our kids. So please consider that. Have a wonderful summer break. Enjoy it. And, we'll be back together all too soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Brenda Julian.
Hi, Board. One thing I wanted to say is, I don't know if the community knows and the board, but right now there's actually a bill up in front of the Education Committee at New Jersey. It's Assembly Bill 5717. It is a framework and a pathway towards universal pre-K. It's establishing a task force to roll out universal pre-K. So it's coming down the pipeline. Trying to get a building built and a program in place before it's mandated by the state, I think is a great idea, but I've talked about that. That's not why I was going to come up. I'm actually wanting to talk about option 2 in high school for some of our courses. I want to talk about phys ed option 2. It is the ability of a child who is in an external sport year-round to be able to not participate in physical education in the school and get optioned out to be able to take another class, an academic, or a prep period. My child is in the Mercer rowing program, and it is a very strenuous, full-year commitment. It's daily. He comes home from school and immediately fuels up and gets over to Mercer, to the lake, and he is there from 4 o'clock until 7:30 every day. And then when regattas start, it's even more intense. It's weekends and weekend regattas. It is a lot of work. And from what I've been told at Steinert by his guidance counselor is, our district doesn't really approve option 2. We know that it's out there, but we don't allow our students to use it. Now, if you're in a sport that's maybe only a season, I can see that. You're not getting the needed hours to participate and fill out what you need. I believe it's 150 minutes a week is what I have down here. Let me read it. You can use option 2 to be awarded as PE credits for external sports that match state standards, 150 minutes per week, and clear learning outcomes. Mercer's rowing program far exceeds that standard. Mercer's program is serious training. It's not a free ride to get out of a class. It's a year-round structured, supervised, athletic, aligned program with NJEA DOE PE learning standards. It is a full playlist. They are learning cardio, weightlifting, flexibility, team psychology, nutrition, and more. It is a program far beyond anything we can learn within our physical education class. And I just don't understand why we aren't, as a district, allowing these athletes just that period back. I know my child has also got an IEP and is in a study skills class. So he's already down one academic in his course, and to be able to free up a part of his schedule out of that would be helpful to us. And so that's why I was come here, and I had a lot more to say, but I'm very quickly running out of time. I would love to talk to you guys more about it. Come see me after. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So at this time, I'm going to move things around again. I'm going to go to other business before we go into executive session. Do I have any board members that have anything under other business? Mr. Kanka?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Ms. Harvey?
I would like to actually make
a motion to refer the investigation of option 2 for our district to the Curriculum and Instruction Committee.
So moved. Oh, wait, a second. So, yeah, we'll take it on. If the superintendent's fine with that, I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I have, we have a motion on the table, we have that in a
A
second.
motion to investigate option 2.
Second.
Yeah, I have a second. Let's call it.
Roll call, please.
Denise Soto?
Yes.
Megan, Ms. Stannon?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Dr. Farrar?
Yes.
Harvey?
Yes.
Mr. Kanka?
Yes.
Dr. McSheen?
Yes.
Ms. Thornton?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so thank you. So Dr. Rocco will take a look at that in regards to that motion, and will keep us updated on the outcome. Okay, thank you, Ms. Harvey. Ms. Stanton, do you have anything?
No, nothing else. Thank you.
Dr. Ferrara?
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Soto?
No, thank you.
Dr. McSheen, do you have anything under other business?
No, thank you.
Okay, so at this time, I am going to ask the board for a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Whereas NJSA 10:4-13 requires adoption of the board to go into executive session, be it resolved that the board pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, New Jersey, Title 18A, and the Hamilton Township Board of Education Bylaw Number 0166, hereby enter executive session to discuss a matter involving human resources. Be it further resolved that the minutes of this executive session shall be made public following formal action by the board and/or at the conclusion of any investigation, due process proceeding, or litigation, so long as not prohibited by law, and so long as the need for maintaining confidentiality no longer exists. So we will not be taking action when we come back into session.